Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Schla. And today, apparently, I slept really good. And I honestly kind of feel that way too. I mean, I don't know, you know, exactly why, but it was just like, that's just how it was. Like, because I got to bed, like, I actually fell asleep fairly late. So I thought that would be a problem, but my theory is that um since I wasn't getting to sleep right away, you know, I was like just sitting in my bed thinking for so long that it kind of like that probably really helped to calm myself down. You know what I mean? So it's like it gave me like a really good deep sleep score. I probably got like almost an hour. So if anything, it's probably something that I should, try to do more often, really. I mean, I don't, I guess I just don't really, things have been kind of hectic and I've been feeling kind of drained. But I think it's kind of crazy because I didn't get 7.5. I only got 7 hours of sleep. But again, what came with that is, yeah, like what I just said. So it's kind of fire. In terms of what time we're getting there today, really wanted to get there earlier, and I'm not. There's just with a lot of meat to eat because the way I have it staggered, usually Monday, no, usually like Tuesday, Wednesday ends up being like the most quantity. So that I was doing that, and so on those days it's usually like the hardest. The later days in the week, since I don't have that much to eat in the morning. But again, I also woke up probably later than I wanted to, and I attribute that again towards like my duration was less. If I had gotten to bed like a half an hour sooner, because I think I got like 6 hours and 50 something minutes of sleep, which is not, we really want to be, I really want to be trying to get more, but that is pretty difficult because I think most days, like I said, I just want to have like a little bit of time to myself when I get home. It's not like I just want to come home and then just like meditate, but I guess that's probably what should be going on anyway, to be honest. Like I really do, there was a time where like I really felt like I was finding an inner peace and stuff, and I should probably go back to that. I mean, whether it was a manic episode or not, that really that just depends, but it's just like I don't know. I really thought at like this one point like I really was setting up some kind of an inner peace. I was trying to get into that kind of stuff, and I probably should. Like it's just I've been getting too carried away with the noise of everything. And a part of that reason is too just because of my work schedule. I think overall like a weak mind. Like I've definitely felt a weakness in my mind as of late, and so that adds up basically. It adds up when um you're not very strong. Like I think it definitely can add up. But I want to try to get on like a better system or a better routine. You know, I've talked about this a lot, and yeah, I don't. It's just not. It's not really materializing. You know, like I keep saying a lot of these things, and like I obviously wanted to cut down on spending money and buying things, but it's like I really didn't happen, you know? And like it's kind of upsetting. So I kind of, I'm going to have to wean out of that and just stop purchasing stuff. It's addictive. It's really like a drug. And once I get the microphone things, I have to just stop, you know? So that's kind of the whole problem. It really is. Like, I don't really know what else to say about it. I have to clean my room. I have to, like, I'm just not really getting to any of these things. And it's like, I really have to start taking more responsibility, I guess. Because it's just like the track that I'm on um, has not been a good trajectory, you know? And I can say whatever I want about thinking it's a depressive episode, it's this, it's that. But, at the end of the day, like, that doesn't really excuse anything. I mean, I remember back in 2024, before I was even recording, I had wanted to start lifting weights. I was like really trying to push for that. And that obviously never even materialized. I wanted to start running. That never even materialized. So there's just been a lot of these like goals and things that I've had that they just haven't materialized. They have not actually become manifest. And, there's obviously problems with that. Like that's not really good. I mean, that was a long time ago at this point. That was 2024. I remember thinking that way. And ultimately I had my sights set high for 2025, and then I didn't deliver or follow through with that. And now, what do you know? It's basically going to be spring of 2026 soon, you know? And I'm not even considering really running more like I'm not even thinking about it, and we're a year late. You know what I mean? Like last year I was really like going to do that. I was like certain. I was like, "Man, I'm going to be running this spring, and if I get used to it in the spring, then it'll carry over through the winter." And I was all hype, and then it just hasn't materialized. Like it just didn't. And then now it's basically like a year later. I'm like, wow, like time's really going by fast. I guess that's a good thing because it's like, I mean, if it was going by slow, then that actually would kind of be trash right now because again, right now I'm really at the stage in my life where I kind of want it to go fast because I'm really just trying to like work this job for at least a few years to save up some money, and then maybe I can try to start to pursue things that I would actually like want to do. That's kind of the idea. And I mean, I'd be fine with sticking with this job forever, but you know, I'm just saying, like, I probably don't have to, and it kind of depends on where I'm at or how confident I'm feeling in multiple years from now. Really, I'm not saying I'm going to quit tomorrow, but Yeah, so it's just like a whole thing, and yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just like just kind of bananas. You know, it's kind of bananas. But yeah, I mean, here we are, right? It's just like really, I don't, I definitely fell like super short of like all these expectations that I set for myself. You know, so in a way, it's been kind of a rough like since the summer. It's just it was not like a good time for me, to be honest. Just to kind of like reflect on that and put it bluntly. Basically, yeah, I mean, I want to say from like July, maybe even June, but I think I was still pretty like happy in June. I want to say from July um, onward, it has been pretty rough. Like, not really sure why. It's just been like mentally, there's been a lot of things going on in my life that had happened that have been very frustrating to deal with. Um, so there's been a lot. There's definitely just been a lot of stuff going on that you know, it's weird. It's no good. Like it's serious things. But I again, like I said, I think we're kind of getting out of that at this point. I've had like a few moments of like feeling like some kind of blood is flowing through my veins again, but I don't know that like right now is one of those times. Like it's just it not like this second, but I guess the overall trend I still think is in kind of like a certain direction where I don't know why I was just not like I've really been. But again, I think the most important thing is I've held my ground with this show. Like this show really, I mean, I know it's probably not much, but in the grand scheme of things, it's been a very impressive achievement for myself. Like, I've really never been that consistent about anything. I know this is basically, I mean, it's beating a dead horse, but it's like petting a dead horse at this point with how much I bring this up, but it's just because of even through this kind of like depressive episode or whatever. I mean, I've been pretty good, all things considered. Like, it's been the fact that I've continued to go to work, like, I never missed a day of work. And then, in addition to that, in addition to never missing a day of work, I've basically never missed a car rides with Schla. And, yeah. And it's still, I mean, even though I know a lot of these episodes, they turned out like rough for a period of time. Especially when I was really like, just I don't know, sliding along there for a while. It's it's still, I mean, I just can't believe that there's something out there that like I actually want to do. It's like I've basically been an artist this whole time, but it would be like an artist that never had, like, never knew a paintbrush. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say like somebody is like a really talented painter, but they don't have access to paint. You know what I'm like? They just have, and then so they feel like they live their life. They're not good at anything. They're confused, and then it's like one day it just all changes. I mean, hey, I don't even know how good I am at this. Like, I don't, I don't even know because, I think that is still something that, time will tell. So, I mean, let's not be too hasty about, you know, yeah, let's not be too hasty there. But, yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I don't really know where I'm getting at with this. I didn't know that this is what the episode would take a turn for. I actually think in the previous episode I had ended with probably wanting a continuation of that episode, but yeah, I don't know. Like I really discovered this love of talking, and well, I guess I always had it, but I realized that the format for recording is like it's great, and I don't know why I wasn't doing it sooner. Like, I mean, a lot of it is actually like my humanitarian side, as I've explained about how like being a content creator, I still view it as like technically, again, you're partaking in this system that is crooked. Like, it's a bunch of people who probably should be doing other things with their time. Well, and I guess my content, I guess some of it is fairly productive. Like, it could definitely be like thought provoking. So I wouldn't say it's the worst of what is out there, but I guess that's a good point. That is kind of a good point to my argument. Is it's like it really depends on the type of content you're making. I mean, people who are just pushing loud entertainment, like that that is not, that's an example of where, you know, you're making money off of people who are watching your channel for fun, but it's like these people should probably be doing something else with their lives. I know that sounds like very cold of me to say, but it is just true. I mean, we're very inundated with this content, but you know, it's like yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. We're inundated with this content, and it just becomes that like hedonistic slide thing. Like, I don't, you get so used to being entertained all the time, now you need that. And it just becomes like such a spoilage effect, you know? That's kind of why I think about it and care about it because I feel like that's, to me, that's true. That's like evidently the case. So yeah, I don't know, but the counter argument to that is like, well, the entertainment channels, the fun channels, they still provide people with laughter when it's in moments that they really need it and things like that. But I still think, like I've explained before, that's more of a symptom of modern fragility more than anything. Um, because as a rule of thumb, as a general prospect, people certainly they just used to be tougher. They used to not really get as phased by things, and I think that's like fairly obvious. And then nowadays it's like we're more fragile because of how good things are given to us. We hit these like soaring dopamine highs off of social media, and then now we're thinking that, like, oh well, in my darkest times in life I needed this as an escape. But it's like, if for most of human history, like, there wasn't an escape. You just didn't have an escape. And it's not like humans were worse. Well, they were worse off, but what I'm saying is it's not like suicide rates were higher than they are now. If anything, we've seen an increase in a lot of like depression and suicidal tendencies. So how does that get squared? You know what I mean? Like, how do you make sense of that? And that's kind of why I'm bringing up the point I'm bringing up, because I just feel like that's again what is evidently the case, is it's this modern fragility effect where we complain and whine about things when in the past it's like, I mean, not in the near past, because obviously, a few decades ago the economy was pretty strong, and people had the opportunities to, most people's quality of life generation on generation increased. And so, you really didn't see it as much. But I'm talking about like before that, people's lives were horrible, and I just don't think people were as upset or as phased about the difficult moments, because it's like that's kind of just all there was. So your brain just couldn't really, I mean, so what if you have to go to school or things like that? I mean, that's like the least of people's concerns. This guy was just driving like way over the white line, and he like still is. So that's kind of concerning, because he got really close to my car kind of for no reason. And he's in like just a regular truck, but I guess it's bigger. I couldn't spot the model. But he was just like a decent amount. Like, it was probably about a little over, his whole wheel was just over his line, and he was in the left lane. So that's, not really what you want to see. But that is what he was doing, in the left lane, and I'm in the center lane. But yeah, I do think that does manifest as like an issue of where it's like, I've heard that before. I've always kind of drifted more in the camp that like video games are probably not a good thing. That's always been, kind of where I'm at. I just don't really think they're a great thing. I think people would probably be happier without them. I think you can make the case that you know, um like the pretty simple games were probably actually pretty good, like in theory. Um, if you're just playing something like Tetris or, to me like that's probably pretty fine. Like I don't really think there's that much of a problem with those types of games. And it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I think when you start to get into these really like, modern games where there's like gambling at every turn, you can blow a bunch of money at every turn. It's extremely graphically intense. It's obviously like 3D or whatever, and um, just a lot of these kind of like things. It's like, and it's internet, like it's like online based, so that, like there's extra dopamine there. I think the social aspect is pretty good, but a lot of times, like, that's only in theory because most of these game lobbies are like, they can be really toxic or they can just be like people that aren't really communicating properly. So, it's one of those things where in theory, a lot of these like modern internet games, it's like you think they could be great, honestly, but then when you kind of, when you delve into it, it's like what the real manifestation of it is. It's rough. You know, the true manifestation of um sorry, what am I thinking about? I just get these like thoughts coming in and then it's like not really what we're talking about. The true manifestation of these online games, they're just not, it's just not like how it is in theory. I actually think though that in theory, like if people played them and they were actually like truly focused on it, then that would be pretty great. Like it probably would be great, but it's a lot of dopamine, you know. It's like an immense amount of dopamine compared to like something like Flappy Bird, for example, or I mean even like just Angry Birds. Like those are games, and at the time they were like super addictive, but then now it's like a lot of people would think they're too slow or boring, or even like Pokemon when I played it as a kid. Um, like it was completely fine, but then now it's like in order to play it, you need the speed up button, and then it's just not the same, because it's like too boring to play on the regular speed the game was presented as. Like you need your emulator, you need your like fancy filter to make the game look a little better. You want to be able to do the speed up. And then it's like it kind of just ruins the soul of it or something. I don't know. It just doesn't feel as special as it did, like seriously. And I really think that's why, because like when you're a child, you were limited by the speed, and so everything was so slow it felt very meaningful. Now it's like too boring to play on the regular speed. You have to speed it up. And then it's like now inevitably as a consequence of that, the moments are not as meaningful, you know? I mean, it gets really strange. It really does get strange. I think so, at least. You know? But that's kind of what I feel like. And I feel like games could have some cognitive benefit, but at the same time they're a pretty big distraction in a world that is already like full of distraction, you know. I think it's another thing too where it's like a person to person basis. I mean, there's certain people where, you know, I think they probably do enough self-reflection and kind of know who they are as a person and where they're at as a person, and you know, they probably still play a lot of games, but it's not like they're brain dead. You know what I mean? Like they're fine. Like they're fine. Like I don't know. Like you could probably still meditate and then also play some games, and then, you know, also like, but before, like an hour before bed, you just turn everything off. Like that's probably possible. It's just that the balance is what gets risky because the human brain is not really going to want that. It's just going to want more and more and more. And so like you're probably going to start with that kind of a routine, and then a couple weeks or even days later, now you want to stay up an hour later. Now you want to stay up an hour later. Now you want to, like, you know, that's kind of how it goes. I think everybody has kind of like a, you know, a ceiling or a limit, but that is how it tends to go. You know, it's like, yeah. Sorry, just thinking. Um, what are we doing? Let's try to think. I'm probably gonna start to end these sooner as well. So I know, like in the beginning, I was thinking about like really trying to maximize the length of the recording, but I'm just not gonna do that anymore. I might change my mind about that, but again, like in the beginning, I was like so like locked in and ready to just like wreck everything. But um, we might not actually know about light luck anymore, which that's kind of sad to me. But you know. It's just easier for me to end things early and have the video exported and not have to worry about it. So it's been schla, but now it's time to buy schla. So see you, schla.